This is a video to help with a couple of little tricks that happen when you're solving inequalities. So this really is one little thing that needs to be reviewed. So we'll go ahead and get this set up and go through and explain a couple things to help with this process. Alright, so the main thing is that when you solve an inequality, really you're using the same exact rules as when you're solving an equation, except there's one special rule. And that special rule is when you divide or multiply by a negative number, your inequality changes direction. So that's the number one thing to keep in mind here as we're working this problem, is that if you multiply or divide by a negative number, that inequality symbol changes direction. Alright, so let's take a look. We need to solve this thing for k. So our first process is, I'm trying to give myself a little bit more space. I've got 2k minus 5 over negative 5 is greater than 5. Okay, so the first part of this problem is going to be to go ahead and multiply both sides by negative 5. And what happens is, because since this is 2k minus 5 divided by a negative 5, by multiplying by negative 5, now I have 1 on top and 1 on the bottom, and those cancel. That leaves me with 2k minus 5. Remember the rule, when you divide or multiply by a negative number, your inequality changes direction. So this was greater, now it's less, and we get negative 25. So right there, that is the crux to this problem when you're solving inequalities. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and add 5 to both sides, solving using inverse operations. And at this point, we're left with 2k is less than negative 20. Inverse operation of multiply is to divide. Our 2's cancel, and we're left with, k is less than negative 10. Which means that our solution set in this case will go from negative infinity to negative 10. Alright, so the key thing though, one more time, is before we walk away from this, is that that statement right there, and that is that when you multiply or divide by a negative, your inequality changes direction.